Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 9, Section 4 of A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Second Golden Thread.
As.
Ah.
A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Second Golden Thread. Charles Dickens. Chapter 9, Section 4. Heavy hours. For 3 heavy hours. The horses in the stables rattled at their racks. The dogs barked. Conventionally assigned to the owl by men poets. Sit down for them. For 3 heavy hours. The stone faces of the chateau, lion and human, stare blindly at the night. The darkness lay on all the landscape. The darkness added its own hush to the hushing dust on all the roads, undistinguishable from one another. The figure on the cross might have come down, for anything that could be seen of it. In the village, Texas and Tax were fast asleep, dreaming, perhaps, of banquets, as the starved usually do, and of his unrest, as the driven slave in the yoke jerks may. Its lean inhabitants slept soundly, and were fed and freed. The fountain in the village flowed unseen and unheard, and the fountain at the chateau dropped unseen and unheard, both melting away, like the minutes that were fleeing from the spring of Tyke through 3 dark hours. And the grey water of both began to be ghostly in the light, and the eyes of the stone faces of the chateau were opened, lighter and lighter, until at last the sun touched the tops of the still trees, and poured its radiance over the hill. In the glow, the water of the chateau fountain seemed to turn to blood, and the stone faces crimsoned. The carol of the birds was loud and high, and then, on the weather-beaten sill of the great window of the bedchamber of Monsieur the Marquis, one little bird sang its sweetest song with all its might. At this, the nearest stone face seemed to stare amazed, and then, with open mouth and dropped under jaw, woke stricken. And the sun was full up. A movement began in the village. Casement windows opened. Crazy doors were inward, and people came first shivering chilled, as yet, by the new sweet air. Then began the rarely light and chill of the day among the village population. On to the fountain, on to the fields, men and women here, to dig and delve, men and women there, to see to the poor livestock, and lead the bony cows out, to such pasture as could be found by the roadside, in the church and at the cross, a kneeling figure or two, attendant on the latter prayers, the led cow, trying for a breakfast among the weeds at its foot. The chateau awoke later, as became its quality, but awoke gradually and truly. First, the lonely bow spears and knives of the chase had been reddened as of old. Then, had gleamed trenchant in the morning sunshine, and doors and windows were thrown open, and at doorways, Leaves sparkled and rustled at iron grated windows. Dogs pulled hard at their chains and reared impatient to be loosed. All these trivial incidents belonged to the routine of life and the return of morning. Surely, not so the ringing of the great bell of the chateau, nor the running up and down the stairs, nor the hurried figures on the terrace, nor the booting and tramping here and there and everywhere, nor the quick settling of horses and riding away. What winds conveyed this hurry to the grizzled mender of roads, already at work on the hilltop beyond the village, with no crow's wall to peck at? On a heap of stones had the birds, carrying some grains of it to a distance, dropped one over him as they so chanced seeds. Whether or no, the mender rode ran on the sultry morning, as if for his life, down the hill, knee-high in dust, and never stopped till he got to the fountain. All the people of the village were at the fountain, standing about in their depressed manner, and whispering low, but showing no other emotions than grim curiosity and surprise. The led cows hastily brought an end to anything that would hold them, were looking stupidly on, or lying down chewing the cud of nothing particularly repaying their trouble, which they had picked up in their interrupted saunter. Some of the people of the chateau, and some of those of the posting house, and all the taxing authorities, were armed more or less, and were crowded on the other side of the little street in a purposeless way that was highly fraught with nothing. Already, friends, and was smiting himself in the breast with his blue cap. What did all this portend? And what portended the swift hoisting up of Mr. Gable behind a servant on horseback, and the conveying away of the said Gable double-laden though the horse was, at a gallop, like a new version of the German ballad of Leonora? It portended that there was one stone face too many. Up at the chateau, the Gorgon had surveyed the building again in the night, and had added the one stone face wanting, the stone face for which it had waited through about 200 years. It lay back on the pillow of Mr. the Marquis. It was like a fine mask, suddenly startled, made angry, and petrified, driven home into the heart of the stone figure attached to it, was a knife, and it thought it was a frill of paper, on which was scrawled, "Drive him fast to his tomb. That to be continued."